Why are these guys acting like this is shocking? It's so strange, man. Yeah, I do love personally that like the Republicans who have been getting yelled at for being weird and have not been doing a very good job of like dealing with that reality have decided to double, triple, quadruple down on the weird shit and have just been balls to the wall. I love that like the media cycle was going to change when Donald Trump went and talked to the National Association of Black Journalists. And the first talking point that came out of it was Kamala Harris might be a DEI pick. Also, she's an Indian woman and not black. She's switching races to be black. Real cool stuff. Thank you, guys. No, you're doing a great job, man. Yeah, no, she turned black. It's just like, dude, I mean, this is like kind of a weird tweet. Obviously, this is Kamala Harris at Howard, but like, bro, it's a thing that you can visibly see with your eyes. That's why it's so strange that they're running with this narrative. Like, she is a black woman. She is seen as a black woman by both racists and non-racists alike. So the fact that like you would try to do that, like this isn't Bobby biracial, okay? This isn't logic. Like this is a black woman. I'm so confused that they're trying to make it seem like it's like a racial Dolezal situation. Like it's very weird. This is dead ass the Obama birthrightism all over again. Just 16 years later is nuts. It's even weirder than that. I think like obviously that was like gross, weird, racist in general. And it also was demonstrably a failure in terms of messaging. That was not a successful message at all. Obama won twice and is still seen as like a very popular figure. Oh my God, JD Vance is Indian. We got him. She has always been black. Classic black family photo. Donald Trump posted this, by the way, this family photo earlier today and was like, remember when Kamala Harris was acting like she was an Indian woman? And it's like, bro, she's literally both black and Indian. These two things can happen. Why are these guys acting like this is shocking? It's so strange, man. Like there is no rule in the rule book where you're just like, oh, if you're biracial, you got to pick one. Sorry. What the f? Especially in terms of blackness. Like if she was white, if she had white in her, that's a little different, right? If she's half white, then the equation is a little bit different because whiteness, also a social construct, is proximity to power in a white country like the United States of America, right? Like that's why you can't hit her with the Elizabeth Warren style memes because like Elizabeth Warren was a white woman who claimed to be a Native American woman. That's why everybody made fun of her, myself included. But Kamala Harris literally is a black woman, and blackness is the type of trait in an unimaginably white supremacist society. Blackness is the type of trait that you just can't really avoid, unlike the top of the hour ad break, which you can avoid as long as you subscribe. JD Vance's reaction to Trump's comments about Harris's race. What he said, I thought it was hysterical. I think he pointed out the fundamental chameleon-like nature of Kamala Harris. Donald Trump on whether Kamala Harris is a DI hire, as some Republicans have said. She happened to turn black. She was Indian all the way, and all of a sudden she made a turn, and she became a black woman. Now, JD Vance saying this is extra weird because, as Roger Sullenberger points out, he has mixed race children. His kids are half Indian and half white. So that's extra strange. Racism isn't about proximity to power. Racism occurs regardless of power. Read How to Be an Anti-Racist. Dude, I don't know what the you're talking about here. Okay, this isn't like the basic racism is power plus discrimination or whatever. I'm not even saying that right now. I'm simply saying whiteness is about proximity to power. Okay, whiteness. It's not race that's the issue. It's the changing racial identity for political reasons. Oh no. What? Okay. There's no such thing as being biracial. It's just some other race. Black plus white equals Arab. Chinese plus Indian equals Mexican. That's how it works. Kamala Harris is Sentinelese. It's like when you mix these two things, you get a third new thing. This is a joke, by the way, chatters. This person is not being serious. It's funny how hard it is for you Americans to understand the cultural inheritance of people when your country is mainly constituted by migrants. I mean, it is, but it's also dictated by white supremacy. This is a byproduct of that reality. Anyway, these racial dynamics being a hot button discourse is probably going to be off-putting to normal people. who are like, what the is going on? I don't really care about this at all. Conservatives, including my dad, are pointing to these two AP headlines of evidence as flip-flopping her race, which is so insane they cannot fathom the concept of carrying two identities. Yeah, I know. California's Kamala Harris becomes the first Indian American U.S. Senator. She would not become the first Black American U.S. Senator. So that's why that's the headline. Biden picks Kamala Harris as running mate, first Black woman. That article probably also mentions that she's the first Indian woman as well. I don't know why we're having this conversation. It literally feels like every day, and this is why I spent approximately like 2.5 hours talking about the trans panic that took place earlier in the morning, because every day we stray further and further into psychopathic tendencies. We are becoming literally more insane every moment. And a big chunk of that insanity is unironically coming from the unrestricted, unshackled right-wing sentiment born out of made-up hysteria and panic. So much of the discourse is driven by dudes who are straight up hallucinating, okay? And it's the same shit here. People just straight up go, you can't be both Black and Indian, you gotta pick one. And most people understand how this works, but it doesn't even matter. I want to see the fallout from Trump's comments attacking Harris's race.
The more and the more he insults her, the more he mispronounces her names, the more that he leans into really insult the entire Black community, the more the momentum will start to create and galvanize behind Vice President Harris. And I will say, and it's not just among Black people who are offended by the former president's treatment of her. So that's the other benefit that she has, that race and gender are working to her advantage in this particular race in a way that it never has before.
Ashley, I'm not Black. Fact check, true. But I'd like your observations on the combative nature.
We still love you.
I'm glad we're good on that. I'd like your evaluation of the combative nature of the exchanges between former President Trump and Rachel Scott. That's playing in that room, but it's also playing in a broader American living room.
Bro, white people can never be normal. Like, I don't know why white people are so, like, it's just so difficult for a white person to ever be normal about like Black issues or just like being around Black people in general. He's not even being like racist or anything. That's not what I'm talking about. He's just being so cringe. Like, he just can't, I don't know.
Absolutely. I mean, there was a lot of frustration I heard from my reporter friends that were in the room, and that frustration and disappointment and how NABJ handled this spilled over into outside of that room. In fact, I got dozens and dozens of text messages about how disappointed they were that they provided the former president this platform to not only insult Black journalists, but the Black community, and to insult Kamala.
HasanAbi's race switching again. Are you with us or against us? Yes, dude.
Kamala Harris as well. So, I mean, the way that I think people are processing this is, it's more of the same with Donald Trump. No one was surprised by this, but it's going to play to her advantage because she's going to be able to contrast and say, listen, which direction do we want to go in as a nation? Who are we as a nation? Are we what Donald Trump represents, which is division and hatred? Are we about solutions? Are we about unity? Are we about loving thy neighbor? That's the contrast she's going to continue to draw. So Black women, wherein we were insulted by it, we're really even more dug in and motivated to go out and support Kamala Harris and make sure we take her across the finish line.
Ashley Etienne, we can feel your energy this morning. Thank you for joining us.
I want to ask you about the former president's comments yesterday to the National Association of Black Journalists, where he said that Vice President Harris is, quote, all of a sudden Black. As a father of 3 biracial children, do those comments...
Oh, my God. Dude, I wish they had this level of smoke for, like, Israel shit, dude. God damn it. This makes me more mad. Seeing them actually cook politicians like this on, like, domestic stuff where they look like assholes, especially when they hate them. And yeah, the media does hate Donald Trump. Let's be real. Okay. This makes me so upset.
Does it give you pause at all?
They don't give me pause at all. Look, all he said is that Kamala Harris is a chameleon. She goes to Georgia 2 days ago. She was raised in Canada. She puts on a fake Southern accent. She is everything to everybody, and she pretends to be somebody different depending on what.
There's nothing funnier than this guy calling someone else a chameleon. Like, dude, you're literally the fakest motherfucker out there. You've invented new ways of being shitty to white people. Like, I don't even know how that's possible. Like, you invented a way to be racist to white people, but like specifically from Appalachia. It's crazy. You called Trump Hitler, dog, like 3 years ago.